It's time for sports with Eugene Bareman, City Kickboxing head coach. It's been a pretty tough weekend for you and Brad. Had a hell of a fight against Rafael Fiziev. Got caught with a spinning wheel kick. Can you just, reflect on that fight and how you saw it cage side?
Yeah, it's a hell of a fight, and those two guys, if I didn't already have a lot of respect for them, I have even more. And I'm not going to say we expected the fight to end like that, but we did expect the fight to be like basically a game of inches. Like each round was going to just come down to like the smallest margin, which is what showed we knew that these guys matched up really well together. And this is what we planned around. Like we planned around just aggregating some tiny marginal leads and trying to aggregate them in front of the judges. And you just weren't able to do that, mate. Every time one guy gained ascendancy, the other guy gained it back. And we just weren't able to pull away like I thought we'd be able to. And we needed to come on strong in the third. And we got caught. We got caught by a brilliant, just a brilliant kick, a brilliant move, brilliant strategy. So you can't take nothing away from Huffa for that. And Brad fought well. He got caught, mate. Like at this level, like I already referred to, it's just a game of inches, mate. If you're a millisecond off, if you make one mistake, that's what happens. And we take that. We'll take that loss like men should take a loss, and give our opponent their proper respect, and then just move on and get better and learn from it. So, and that's what we're doing.
When you say a game of inches and one mistake can cost you, I don't even think Brad made a mistake because Rafa switched stances, and so Brad was circling away from the power, and the spin just got him. So that makes it even worse for me watching.
True. I mean, instinctively, if you watch it, Brad does drop the elbow for the body shot, for the heel kick to the body. So that hand should have been higher. But in those milliseconds that your instincts kind of take over, he definitely went to protect the body, and Huffa was never going to the body. And that's a great thing about a spinning heel kick. The window that you have to figure out what target that kick's going to, that gets really narrow because it's hidden behind the spin, and it comes out of the spin. And that little narrow window you've got to decide body or head, that's a lot smaller than just your average like Thai kick or something. And Brad just instinctively dropped, and the kick actually came up high. And that's higher. That's the highest level striking and precision. And although you don't want to be on the receiving end of it, you have to give it its respect and admire it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't go Brad's way, but City Kickboxing go again this weekend with Kai France against Cody Garbrandt, and a fight a lot of people are looking forward to. It's a very nice stylistic matchup, and of course, you have the added questions of how Cody deals with the weight cut and coming down, having to take off that extra 10 pounds against a guy like Kai, who has proven knockout power.
Yeah. And let's not make no mistake, like this is a title eliminator. They're bringing in Cody to beat Kai, and then they're going to push him into the winner of the flyweight fight. So by that logic, if Cody comes in and he loses and Kai wins, and especially if he wins in spectacular fashion, then Kai gets the next title shot. And that's the way this should be looked at. This is definitely a title eliminator. And that's what Kai's used as motivation, and we've used as motivation as as a team, and it's taken Kai to the next level. So you're looking at the best version of Kai I've ever seen, the fittest, the sharpest, the strongest version I've ever seen, which is hard to do for an athlete that gets himself in such supreme shape. It's hard to, find. How do you find extra when you're already at your peak? And amazingly, the motivation of a title fight, if you can best this next opponent, that is what's taken Kai to the next level. That mental process going on in his head. So we have a good game plan, and unfortunately I won't be there. I've had to come back because my voucher just doesn't extend to allow me to be there for Kai's fight, but he'll be in good hands. There's a very good understanding of what Cody's bringing to the table and what he needs and what he needs to do. And so I'm confident. Yeah, I'm very confident for Kai. Yeah.
I feel like we've seen this sort of setup before with the City Kickboxing guy. Like you say, they're bringing in Cody to beat Kai to get that title shot, similar to, when Volk got matched up with Chad Mendez, who was coming back, and they were looking to build him up off Volk, and things went really, really differently. It would be nice to take the same advantage twice.
One of the things that we loved doing a good 3, 4, 5 years ago now was coming in as an unknown entity. And just, we knew how good we were, but no one else knew. And so we used to love that position, who are these people from down the other end of the earth that no one's ever heard of, that live amongst a bunch of volcanoes on 2 islands in the Pacific, with not a big MMA or martial arts history. Who are these guys? And we used to just love going in there and just completely flabbergasting and just leaving opponents in our dust. And we don't really have that same kind of feel now because we're kind of an established team, but we still love upsetting. We still love upsetting the balance of powers. What people think should happen, we like to go the other way. So, and that's what Kai's looking to do in a massive way. Can't wait.
For Kai coming into this fight, like you say, is the most motivated he's been. Do you think becoming a father has led any hand to that? Because I know since he's become a dad, he's gotten very, very focused on being a family man and doing what he needs to do for his family.
Yeah, I think all my fighters that I've noticed that have been in the UFC career, pre and post children, are a lot different. It definitely changes the purpose. The focus doesn't really change, but the purpose, you're there. You kind of have this added purpose, and that's just what family does, right? Family gives you a new lease of motivation and purpose, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if that's what it is, then I use that to the best of advantage as I can to get a performance out of the fighter. If family's the family and kids and whatever's the thing that is the trigger, then yeah, I'm not too shy to use that if I can see that it's a powerful source of motivation. So definitely Kai's definitely a changed fighter since he's brought a small child onto this earth.
And how is he feeling about just the whole week ahead and having to spend a little while extra in Vegas?
Yeah, honestly, I flew out on Sunday night, so early in the morning on Sunday he came to the hotel and we did a big session while he's still got heaps of energy and he hasn't cut the weight yet, and we had heaps of energy, and man, like, it's amazing. Like, it's hard to describe because it's a very cliche thing, because every coach and trainer is going to say that this is the best he's ever felt, the best he's ever looked. But I mean, all I can say is that, you know, literally that's the state that he's in at the moment. He just needs to take what we did on Monday morning, Sunday morning, please. And the boys just need to build on that. Keep the vibe strong, keep Kai sharp, keep him focused on the job, and then come Saturday night Vegas time, everything should fall into place. So as far as what I saw on Sunday when I left them, yeah, just beautiful.
A little bit closer to home, you're obviously losing one of the striking coaches from the gym, with Lightning Mike Angove heading over to China to run striking at the UFC PI. What was your initial reaction to hearing that news, and how has it been working with Mike for the last little while, and what's he going to bring to that program?
My initial reaction was, I was a bit, I was worried. I was apprehensive. I was worried when I heard that he was, you know, looking to base himself overseas and go down a different path to the path that we've been going down together for so long with the other coaches. So, I mean, there's a small little secret at my gym. It's a well-kept secret, and the secret is this. Let's not make it a secret. I'm nowhere near the best coach at my gym. I'm far from it. In fact, nowadays I'm more like a Hollywood coach. I'm just a Hollywood coach. I just talk on the media and Twitter. No, I don't have a Twitter, but the truth is that I don't consider myself anywhere near the best coach in the gym, or as good as any of my colleagues. They are far better coaches than me. You know, like, especially those, you know, the guys at corner with me in the UFC. Not having them there with Brad 100% was a disadvantage. It's like, you know, like not having Tristan Mondre and Mike there, it's like taking 75% of Voltron away. It just doesn't, and that's being generous. You know, giving myself 25%, because I'd give myself less. So not having those guys there, I think I would love to have them there, but circumstances are the circumstances, and we have to deal with what is deal. But those guys are so important and so much smarter than me, and a very well kept secret, and that's what people don't understand. Like, those guys are the best in the world, man. You know, Tristan Mondre, Mike. And then you've got Doug, like Frank, like these guys, without a doubt, and I've been around the game for many, many years, are some of the best coaches on the planet. And to not have them there is a big disadvantage. And to lose Mike is a big deal, man. It's a big deal for the gym. It's a big deal. Someone like that, world-class guys like that, in this sport are very, very, very few and far between. What the average fan thinks are world class in terms of coaching, they have no idea. This is a very, very select few. It's part of the reason my gym's been able to have so much success, because I've managed to somehow miraculously grab a group of them and put them together. But they're hard to come by. So if I lose them, for me, it's a massive loss. So I was initially gutted. But then you have to take away your selfish reasons, right? Yeah, there's us, the team, but there's a bigger, more important reason behind doing this, and that is, this is a way for Mike to provide for his family, and he has a partner and he has kids, and family always sits above your gym family. No one's going to deny that. And that's a bigger cause than the gym and us selfishly wanting to keep him at the gym, is he's going to go over there and provide for his family through that job. And I mean, you watch, like, whoever he's training, you watch the level of their understanding and striking go up through the roof. He's just one of the best in the world, and whoever he's going to train, the Chinese fighters and stuff, given that they can get around any communication barriers, whoever you are, if you're listening to this, and I probably have to talk Chinese, but you're going to be privileged to train with one of the elite stand-up coaches in the world, and that doesn't come around every day. I wish we could just keep him here and keep him from everybody else, but alas, such is life. He's gone for the moment. That was a long speech about Angove, wasn't it?
Oh, he'll love it. He'll love it. We know Angove likes hearing about himself.
He's a good guy.
But like you say, him being an elite striking coach, one of the best in the world, I can't remember what this clip was from. I just saw Israel posted it a little while ago. It was in sort of a compilation of his knockout of Robert Whittaker, and he showed a clip of before the fight, him and Angove working on the exact thing that he put Whittaker away with.
Yeah. I mean, like if you could be a fly on the wall, like, these guys are amazing. These coaches that I work with, they astound me every day with their understanding of the sport. And if I can even class myself as mediocre at coaching, it's because of them. It's because of what I've learned from them, and in terms of just the way they approach the way they approach the sport, and their dedication to the sport as well. So, like, yeah, I mean, like I said, they're a well-kept secret that I just want to, I want to keep to myself and keep to my team. But there's more important things at play. So I have to bon voyage Mikey for a few years. So hopefully I know whoever he's with will reap the benefits. If Mike is probably like the most detailed coach I've ever come across, and I've been amongst many coaches, and I've looked over and seen Mike. I've seen him like talking to people for 40 minutes about adjusting the angles of their toes and feet, and his attention to detail and his eye for technique is amazing. So he'll be missed.
You mentioned you're more of a Hollywood coach these days, and I guess we've got to address a couple of things been going on in the media since you last were on the show. I guess first of all, your comments about Khabib Nurmagomedov on Submission Radio sort of got a little bit of traction behind them, and now Javier Mendez from AKA has come out and sort of put in a counterclaim to that. I guess the floor is yours if you want to respond.
Well, look, I had a number of people in Vegas come up to me and talk to me about this too. I didn't realize it got so much traction. But this is the world we live in now. And, you say a couple of things and then people create a clickbait headline. And then what's amazing, what I find also amazing about this, modern media and stuff, is people don't read the body of the article. They just look at the headline, but the headline is whatever people make up. They take a small extract. And so I got sent the article by Javier Mendez by one of the lads, and he clearly hasn't read the article. And which is funny for such an astute coach to just read a headline and base I think he has a podcast now. Everybody's got a damn podcast. I think he has a podcast now to base subject of your podcast on a headline without actually reading the article is amazing. But look, the whole thing just needs a bit of clarity. And I feel like I don't have to I feel like it's not my job to give it clarity, because if you actually read the article, it's very clear and concise. Anybody who's a little bit literate should be able to understand it. But what I'm saying is basically, like, don't hate the player, hate the game. This game at this level, it forces you into a particular types of behaviors, and you have to do certain things. Okay. And I don't like it, just for the record. I don't like it when my team does it. I cringe at it. I hate it. I used to headbutt with the boys a lot when they used to talk too much on the internet and stuff. I used to chastise them and yell at them and swear at them. But at the same time, the boys and I understand how the sport works. We understand how the sport works, and the sport's about selling fights. And although I might not like it, I come from a different generation. I might not like all this and all this Twitter and all this. I might not agree with it. It's a part of the landscape of the sport now. And it definitely has an impact on your career. And that's all there is to it. Now, what I'm trying to say is that Dagestanis, they never used to do that. They were like the last bastion of hope for a guy like me who doesn't like to see that behavior. They were the last culture that never used to do this. They never used to talk like that. Not my guys, not all the other teams in the world. They already broke. They already let the game change that culture, that martial arts, that respect, that culture. They already let that change. The Dagestanis were the last. Khabib, Makhachev, to whoever. They were the last guys that weren't willing to change. They were willing to just fight and fight hard and train hard, forget about all the social media. That's what I used to love about them. And that's what I used to respect about them. Now, times have changed. Things are different. I respected that behavior now, but I also respect the approach that they're taking now, because they understand. They have finally understood how the game works. And you do have to create a conversation around a fight. And you do have to create media around a fight. And you have to create a story. And I respect that too. I respect more the way they used to be. But now they're just like my guys, and they're just like all the other teams. And that's fine. That's fine. That's the way the sport goes. But for me, it's sad to see, because I liked that they were the last purists around, and they were still the ones I could count on that would just get on and fight, forget about all this other bullcrap that all the other athletes and teams do. And that's all I'm saying. And to be honest, being like that is not the best way to succeed in a sport. It's just not the best way. The best way, and my team has a very good understanding of it, is to create a narrative, create a story around the fight. And look, that's going to be, that culture is going to be, if they're starting to make changes like this, the UFC, watch out. Because when they understand how the sport works at this end, when some of their fighters start to learn English and build up their media skills, they have, the world needs to watch out. They need to. I'm gonna give them some advice. I'll give them some advice. When you have, my guys spend a lot of time wrestling. Wrestling's not our background, so we spend a lot of time wrestling. It's a massive part of what we do, because we obviously have to make up, because we don't have that big steep history of wrestling, right? Now, but we have to keep our stand-up skills very, very sharp. So we're trying to juggle both these things at a very high level. So difficult. Well, they have a gift. They have a gift because they have a very extensive wrestling background, and they're very good at wrestling. For me, that means you can put all your time into some of the other aspects of the sport, and a little less time in that, even though you have to keep that sharp. And work on your stand-up. Because if you want to become a champion, if you don't want to wait 6, 7, 8 years before you even get into the top 15, then you have to understand the sport, and you have to spend hours and hours and hours and hours learning the fundamentals. And I'm not talking about the fundamentals that you learn at a 5:30 aerobic kickboxing class, bring your hands back to your face and stuff. I'm talking about a whole different set of fundamentals. You got to put a lot of time into the tiniest, minute details so that you can become a superstar in 2 or 3 years. And then you start building a narrative and Twitter and stuff. And then you don't have to wait 7 or 8 or 9 years. Well, when these guys, when this team starts to develop that, they're going to be very hard to stop. You'll see champions across multiple divisions instead of just one in the UFC and since it's existed. So yeah, everything just got like people stop reading the clickbait headlines, actually read the article, and you can kind of understand what I'm talking about there. So, and I've been in like quite a bit of trouble with clickbait headlines. I actually just read another one from that Mr. Daniel Cormier, my old friend, is addressing me about a comment that I made about Max Holloway and him being in a relationship, or Max Holloway being his girlfriend or boyfriend, or however you put it. Look, I don't mean any disrespect like that. That's the tongue-in-cheek comment. To be honest, I don't care that much about it, Mr. Cormier. The live commentary doesn't really affect the judges at all. The media afterwards, even if you didn't commentate the fight, but you were part of the rhetoric that said it was such a close, that was a rip-off fight, and it was Max should have won the fight clearly. Even if you're a part of that, that doesn't really affect the fight. What I'm more worried about is what happens before. But my team, we start putting our places on the chessboard earlier than any other team. And so if I give you a little tongue-in-cheek comment, no disrespect intended, about your commentary, at least on the next commentary, because we know that rematch is coming, at least that's up there. At least that's up there. And if we think that it was a slightly biased commentary, at least that little tongue-in-cheek comment that I made has got you thinking a little bit. And I know that doesn't really. I know you're a media man, and you've got to have thick skin when you're in that world, Mr. Cormier. So yeah, no offense intended. I'm just trying to elicit a reaction so that next time you hit that commentary booth for the Volkanovski Max Holloway fight number 3, we can get an even call down the middle. That's all that was.
On the topic of upsetting people, I know you're not very high on the Christmas list of the Robert Whittaker fandom. Even basically the past year and a half, even 2 years, you've had a little fun playing with that group of fans, and even recently the UFC have sort of told you off for it. Do you have any apologies you need to be making?
Yeah, hey, look, man, look. I mean, I'm not even trying to promote the fight. I'm just having a go at my fans, my Robert Whittaker fans. We share fans. All Robert Whittaker fans are Eugene Bareman fans, and we share that. Well, I share that in common with Robert. And look, I don't know, man. That's just a Kiwi sense of humor. You know what we do, right? We say stuff like that, and then we have little messenger WhatsApp groups and stuff. And then what the boys do is I do an interview. I tick off all the Robert Whittaker fans, and then they screenshot and send me all of the most vile comments, the most terrible ones that you'd never say to your worst enemy. They screenshot that, and we kind of like play around with them, and we rate them, and we like check this one out. This is a good one, and we just have. I mean, that's just our sense of humor. We're just having fun. But look, it's just a battle with the fans. I respect Robert. I respect that team a lot, obviously. Yeah, Robert's been. I mean, yeah, I can say what I want. I can say Brunson, Till, Kevin Holland. I can say what I want, but I'm don't overstate my influence on things. Like, trust me, that Robert fight has been in the works for a long time, and I think a lot of the fans like to think that I have a bit more influence than I actually do. But yeah, look, sorry for the wind up, guys. I will take a rest from winding you up for a couple of weeks, and then I'll get you again. Yeah.
Just let them enjoy the announcement, which hopefully we're getting soon, and then get back on them after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet, man. Well, if you don't have anyone else that you've annoyed in the last couple of weeks, we'll let you get back to your home isolation. Thank you very much for the time, as always. Always a pleasure to chat.
Thank you, Chris. Hollywood Coach is out. Thank you for another great one. Thank you.